My dear students, today we are going to learn the continuation of the chapter The Invention of Shoes. And last day we already learned that the king Hobu was very much worried about his feet, that whenever he steps into the ground, his feet got dirty by the dust. So, what happened? He wanted to solve this problem. In order to solve this problem, he appointed the minister, and the minister gathered the whole scientists and learned men who were there in a kingdom. He gathered them together and they were thinking about it. And in order to first, they thought of uh, they purchased what about 17 lakh 50,000 brooms, and workers were set up and they started to sweep it, and after doing such things the whole kingdom was filled with what filled with the dust. So again they started what they started to do something else, and since the whole kingdom was filled with dust, so they decided to do what? Decided to set up about 21 lakh water carriers, and they wherever they found dust, they poured the water, and by doing such things, the whole river was filled with mud, and the living creatures who were there in the water, they died, and those who were lived in land, the creatures, they were just trying to live. They were not able to walk even because of the mud. By seeing these things, the king got angry and he said, "What a fool they are! They just replace the dust with mud." And now, what was the response of the king? Let us see it again. That the king said, "What a lot of fools! They got rid of the dust only to replace with the mud." That was the reply of our king, that they just telling that they were all fools, and they just got rid of the dust replaced by this mud. And once again everyone gathered to solve the royal problem. Once again the great men and their assistants racked their great brains, and they thought and then thought harder, but they were baffled and blind. They were at a loss to know how to lose the dust. Now what happened? Everyone gathered together to solve the royal problem, and the great men and their assistants racked their great brains. Racked their great brains means tried very hard to think of something. What they were thinking about? They were thinking about to solve the royal problem of the king. So they were thinking about it. What happened at the end? They couldn't get anything to solve it. So at the end, someone said, "Cover the earth with the mats, rugs, and carpets shall stop the dust from touching the royal feet." And one of them got an idea that to cover the earth with the mats and carpets. So one said, we can cover the earth with a mat, so that the royal feet should not get the get in touch with the dust and it should not get dusty. So, but someone else suggested, what was it? Keep the king indoors. See to it that there is no hole or loophole anywhere. If he does not step on the dust, no dust shall touch his royal feet. And someone else suggested that we can tell the king to keep to be there in the palace itself without going outside, so that there should not be any loophole. Loophole means a narrow escape route, so that if the king stays at the royal palace itself, so that his feet will not get dusty. So someone suggested, so that let the king be there in the palace itself. By hearing this, the king's reply was like this. The king said, "Very true, but I am worried. If I were to stay shut up indoors every day, all day, then the royal missionary shall come to stop my kingdom shall be ruined." And what happened? The king said, "It is very true, it is correct. I can be there in the palace itself, but he is worried if he is going to shut in the doors every day and all day, then what will happen? The royal missionary means the system and the procedures of the kingdom, and if he stays in the palace itself, the system and procedures of the kingdom will be stopped. At the end, what happened? His kingdom will be destroyed. Ruined means destroyed. So his kingdom will be destroyed. So then, taking the matter into his own hands, the king announced, "Call the tanners, all of them, wrap the whole land in leather. This shall be my great contribution, a mighty blanket for the dusty earth." And now what happened? The king decided to take action by himself. He said, "Call upon the tanners." Tanners means who? People who make leather. The people who make leather is known as what? Tanners. So the king announced, "Let us call the tanners, and by calling them we can wrap the whole land in leather." Wrap means to cover the land with leather. And the king said that this will be a great contribution by the king. What is the contribution? A mighty blanket for the dusty earth. A mighty blanket. We can make a blanket of leather and put it in the earth, so that whenever he steps into, his feet would not get dusty with the dust. So he said it would be a great contribution by the king. So let us see what will be happen at the end of this chapter. So let us learn this chapter. All of you please read and go through this chapter and understand more, and we will be continuing the same chapter in the next class. So this is for today. I hope you understand this particular chapter. We will be continuing in the next class. This is for today. Bye bye.